Hey there, Wargamers, Justin here, Painter. Today, we're going to play some Battletech. I'd like to welcome you guys back to the channel. If you are new here, please alpha strike that like and subscribe button. Smash it like you mean it, like you're trying to focus that fire into the enemy mech space. But instead, let's focus that energy. Let's channel it into helping the channel here grow. If you're a returning viewer, thank you for tuning in today. I appreciate you having my six. Thanks for being an awesome lance mate, star mate, whatever the case may be for you. Thank you for being here and supporting what I do. Today, we're going to be playing a little bit of Battletech Alpha Strike Aces, and we've got interesting setup for the game today. The match is going to be the same as normal. We're going to be blowing some stuff up. But the thing that's going to be interesting is we're not playing with any of my minis today. We're playing with two forces that were painted from my Nova 2023 grinder box by community members. That said, let's go ahead and switch it on over, and I'll show you guys the forces that we'll be fighting with today. Alright, so for our defending forces today, we have what I'm calling the Caudle's Killers, the mercenary two lances, or partial mercenary company that was painted up by Kelly Caudle from the community. And for the forces we've got today, we've got the two lances that he painted up. We've got the Shadowhawk, supported by a Locust, a Catapult, and a Awesome. And then for the other lance, which I favor a little bit more because I like the slightly brighter camo scheme twice, we've got a Locust, a Phoenix Hawk, an Atlas, and oldie but goldie, the Warhammer. For the opposing forces today, those that are sieging this oil refinery, this oil field out in the middle of nowhere, from Kelly's Caudles, I was getting ready to say that they own it, but perhaps they are being employed by a great house, and they're trying to fight off whatever clan this might be, or Mercs, I'm not sure yet. If you guys know paint scheme that this yellow matches, let me know. But these forces, the clan forces today, were painted up by Adam from Death Ray Designs for my Nova box as well. And for those, we've got the Massacari, the Fire Moth, a Nova Cat, which is probably one of my favorites here, the Cougar, and the Uller. For the fight today, we will be fighting to the last man, basically, or basically we're killing each other. We'll go to round 10, if necessary, with force withdrawal. I think if I had to give you guys, or give an edge to one of these forces, I think the clanners have it. Their skills are going to be absolutely brutal, but hopefully the quantity equation for the Mercs here, Caudle's Killers, perhaps that will give them the edge. That said, we'll go ahead and get deployed and get our battle underway. We've got our forces deployed, and I tried something a little bit different with the clanners. Typically, I kind of box them up in a group together, and this time I kind of split, thinking perhaps this might be a little bit more strategic, might get us something interesting from the Alpha Strike Aces cards, and that is I have the heavy hitters kind of together to push forward down the road, and perhaps I've split up and had their fast movers on a flank to push, see what might happen. Think it could be cool. Makes a little bit of sense. I generally like to turtle, but I try to do something different today. For Caudle's Killers here, we've got the two lances deployed with the heavier hitters kind of in the middle, pushing forward to grab our terrain features, the trees, the water, things like that they can fire from. And I had the two Locusts pair off. They broke off from their main elements, and they're going to be trying to push a flank, see if they might be able to get over there behind the heavier guys and wreak some havoc. That said, we're going to go ahead and get some initiative rolls going on here, and we'll see who wins. We'll have the big yellow dice here. These will be the dice for the clan forces, and we'll have the green ones here be for Caudle's Killers. So let's go ahead and roll for the yellow guys. They have rolled a 9. And for Caudles, they have rolled a 9. Rerolls it is. We've got a 9 and a 10. Alright, so Yellow Bros have won the initiative. That means Caudle's Killers are going to go first. So to get things started, we don't quite outnumber them by 2 yet, but it is 8-5. So let's go ahead and get some movement going. I would like to say that our smaller models here, the Phoenix Hawk, the Shadowhawk, and the two Locusts, have a worse skill rating. They're kind of rookies, got skill 5, and that has allowed the heavier mechs, the Catapult, the Warhammer, the Awesome, and the Atlas to sport a skill 3. I wanted to skew it a little bit so they had a little bit easier time hitting. So let's go ahead and grab the Shadowhawk here. It's got a 10-inch move, and let's push him forward, and he's going to plop it into the trees. We know they've got fast elements over on the side there, and I'd like to not make him an easy target for them to go after. So he is TMM of 2. So that is going to put us down to 7 models to activate versus their 5. Let's go ahead and have our little numbers here so I can keep track. 7 left to their 5. And let's go ahead and see what our initiative cards have got in store for us today. So we have got, looks like the Brawler is going to go first. And do we have two Brawlers? We don't. One Brawler, that's going to be the Cougar. Let's see what the Cougar's going to do. Jump into woods or cover from most enemies. All right, so let's grab our handy-dandy measuring tape that I've left on the other side of the table. And Cougar going to jump to cover, and he'll land in those trees. The Cougar here has a TMM of 2 and no strong jump jets, so that's going to afford him a TMM of 3 with the jump. Let's get these dice in a little bit more optimum location for me to grab. And that's going to bring us back over to Coddle's Killers. Got 7 activations to their 4. Let's go ahead and bring forth the Phoenix Hawk. Let him do what Phoenix Hawks do, and he will also move forward and grab some trees for the cover. That's going to give him a TMM of 2 as well. Knock us down to 6 to 4. So we have got these bros. Next up, let's see which one we have double of, so I know. Because we got double. We've got 2 strikers, it looks like. So next one up on the list is going to be the Sniper, and the Sniper is the Masakari. That is telling us to jump if any enemies within 12. He doesn't have jump, so we're going to straight here. Ground movement towards most allies in line of sight, facing most enemies. So I think that's going to have him going probably towards the tree line over here. But he would be trying to maximize cover if possible. So I think if he goes this way, he gets cover, and he has maximum allies in line of sight, which would be 3 out of the 5 total models here. And that's going to afford him a TMM of 1, because it's a Masakari. He's only got a 1. There we go. And next up, that's going to bring us back to Coddles. Now we have 6 to their 3, so we're going to have to move 2 minis. Now, what's our Warhammer got for a movement? He's got an 8. He could potentially get into the woods here. Yeah, I think we take the woods. We take this opportunity to push forward, get some tree cover. His TMM is a whopping 1, but we'll do what we gotta do. Okay. Boom. And for our next activation, because that'll bring us down to 5, I think we bring the Catapult. It only has an 8. And it can, 7 gets it there. It can't quite get fully into the trees, but it can tow it. So there we go. We're going to have a whole bunch of guys partying in the trees, but the cover makes absolute sense to me. Okay, so that's going to bring us down to 4 models left for Coddles and 3 for the Clanners. So we have gone with our Sniper and our Brawler first. That's going to bring us to Striker and Skirmisher. Skirmisher is next, and that is going to be the Nova Cat. The Nova Cat says to ground movement to most enemies in line of sight. That's going to be pretty much anywhere straightforward. He's got an 8 movement. I think that if he goes this way to get some cover, he's still got maximum guys in line of sight, and that makes the most sense for him to not get absolutely shot off the table. With the rules for the way they are, they'll try and prioritize getting cover when they can. The thing that's also interesting thus far is the Uller and the Fire Moth are currently slated to go towards the end, which is exactly what we would want. So we've got 4 models left to activate for Coddle's Killers, and we have to move 2 because they have 2 left. So I think that means it's time to bring the Awesome forward, and he's going to push for the trees. He does not have enough movement to get in them, so he'll be firing through, but that is what he is going to do. That is also going to bring us to our last activation for the turn, and that is going to be our Atlas, who's in the same boat of a 6. And he's going to slightly notch over to the right a little bit because he might want to go for the water feature maybe. He also has overheat, so why wouldn't he want water? Now it's going to bring us back to the Clanners. 2 activations to 2 left, and that is going to leave us with the Uller and the Fire Moth, which are both strikers. So we want the... we want the Fire Moth to go first or the Uller. I think perhaps we'll go with the Uller. We'll leave Fire Moth for last. Uller says this would be a sprint if no enemies within 24, to where few enemies within line of sight. Are there any within 24? 100% within 24, so we will skip that. This one says to jump towards the furthest enemy you can get behind. Doesn't have any ground movement towards enemy lowest TMM. Okay, so that'll be a 12, and he will walk into the trees. Okay, that is not the worst place. The jump probably would have been more optimal for him, but not to the end of the world. And he has a TMM of 2. There we go, bro. Okay, and that will bring us to Coddle's Killers, who have to move their last 2 models because they lost initiative, and that is going to be the pair of Locusts with a 24-inch move. That is most of the table. They're probably not going to be able to hit much because they have a skill of 5, 6, 7 for range, 8 for the trees, 9, 10. Actually, you know what? They could potentially shoot targets over there, so we will push the flank with them. So here is our 24 with Locust number 1 and Locust number 2. They're coming down the side of the flank here, doing what Locusts do, trying to be annoying, keeping our opponents on their toes. These particular variants have TMMs of 4. Now, I don't have a specific era for these models. I just kind of grabbed what was cool on the Master Unit list, so don't expect anything particularly accurate for the fluff or unit allocation or unit selection. I just want to do something cool. Now, it's going to bring us to our Striker, the last one, which will be the Fire Moth. Doesn't have jump, so we're going to immediately go to the next one. Ground movement towards highest health enemy you can destroy. Can't destroy anything. Towards fewest enemies in line of sight. Can we do that? That would have to be absolute, not shooting anything. His movement is a 30. I think he can do that. He's got a 30-inch move. And 100%, he can go to there. Okay, so he's not going to be getting shot this turn, but he's also not going to be doing anything. But he is poised to get behind them, and that actually works out pretty good. Now, because Coddle's Killers have lost the initiative, they fire first. So let's go ahead and get some shots going. I think the big guys in the back are going to be the easiest targets to try and shoot, and the Nova Cat or Masakari. They're both TMM of 1. They're both scary. They are both absolutely scary. We're going to prioritize the Nova Cat because he has a little less HP and we might potentially clear him. So we're going to start with that Phoenix Hawk, who is going to be firing, and unfortunately crossing woods and cover, so he might not actually be able to hit. Skill 5, 6, 7 for range, 8 for the trees, 9 for the cover, and 10 for his TMM. So he can potentially hit. We'll have our black and red dice as the crit, and let's go ahead and have that Shadow Hawk fire off some shots, see if he can hit. He tried, 8 and 9, he tried. Alright, so he has fired. Phoenix Hawk, it's your turn. Doing the same thing. He's doing a 5, 6, 7 for range, 8 for cover, 9 for TMM. This one is not going through those trees. He gets a pair of damage onto the Nova Cat. Fantastic. Couldn't ask for better than that with a skill 5 pilot. Okay, moving right along. Let's go ahead and grab that Warhammer. He looks like he's poised to not be firing through the trees either. So he's skill 3. And it's a medium range of 5, 6 for cover, 7 for the TMM over there. Here we go. Come on, Whammy. Alright, so he got almost 2 points of damage, but 1 point of damage on the Nova Cat. I am starting to think maybe I should have shot the light mechs to try and clear something, but we're going to double down and see what we can do. Alright, so the catapult's within range to ignore the trees to fire through. Well, it looks like it's going to be catching the other trees anyway, so catapult's going to fire now. And our caddy has a skill 3 as well. So 3, 4, 5, 6 for trees, 7 for cover, 8 for TMM, 3 dice, looking for 8s. Oh my god, we rolled a 3, 4, 4. Oof, Kelly's Coddles, your mech warriors, or not Kelly's Coddles, Coddles Killers, struggling to hit. We have got the Awesome that will now fire, wherever he is. There he is, skill 3, he's got 5 damage, which is what we like to see. So skill 3, 4 for going through the trees, 5, 6 for range, 7 for cover, 8 for TMM. Gimme, 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 gimme. That's pretty good. He hit with everything. Fantastic. What a way to finish up with some of the shooting here. So that's 5 points of damage into the Nova Cat. That is actually going to bring us internal. We got to get a crit roll here, folks. Let me grab my handy-dandy crit sheet, see what we are going to roll here. And we have rolled an 8. 8 is a weapon hit, which is not insignificant because he has 5 damage base. All right, that is going to bring us to our Atlas. Skill 3, firing through the woods. So 4, 6 for range, 7 for cover, 8 for his TMM. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Looking for 8s. Come on, Atlas, bring us home. And he will walk away with 1 point of damage. But he will get a crit roll. So, whoop. All right. Nova Cat's got 1 life left, or excuse me, 2 life left. Here is our crit roll. We have hit a 9, and a 9 is no critical hit. Wah, wah, wah. All right, he is done. Can our locusts see him? No, they cannot. I think our pair of loci are going to take some shots at, unfortunately, the Uller. They are skill 5, 6, 7 for range, 8 for the cover, 10s for the TMM. So here's the first locust looking for 10s. He got 2 points of damage on the Uller. Second locust looking for 10s. Woo, 2 8s. So 2 points of damage on the Uller. That's not bad. That was almost half his life in 1 volley. All right. Now. It is time to see what the clan forces are going to fire at. So let's check our initiative order here. That's going to bring us to shooting with the Massacre first. Shoot at a thing he absolutely can destroy. Doesn't look like he's got anything that's going to do. Lowest TMM, that's going to be the Atlas and the Awesome. Thing with no cover, they all have cover. Highest threat is probably going to be the Awesome with his damage output. So, let's see how much damage our Massacre here can do. He is pumping out 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Gotta grab us another pair of dice here. And 6. And here he comes in all of his glory. He has skill 1, 2, 3, 4 range, 4 for the trees, 5 for the Awesome's TMM, and let's just make sure this is in medium range. I think it is. Yes, looks like it's just barely. All right, so here we go. Skill 1, 3 for range, 4 for trees, 5, absolute 5 for the TMM. And that looks like that is going to be 6 points of damage into the Awesome. Absolutely insane. I told you guys these guys are going to be brutal because their skills are so low in a positive direction. So that is 5 points of damage, 6 points of damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's almost out of armor. Okay. Next in line is going to be the Nova Cat, and he's going to shoot a thing he can destroy. Can't destroy the Awesome, but I think logic would dictate that would be the optimum choice because he could crit him, he could do stuff. So I think that we are going to make the executive decision that the Nova Cat fires at the Awesome. It makes the most sense. So he's got 5 dice. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let's get the Clan Wolves out of here. He's skill 1, 2 for range, 3 for trees, 5 for his TMM. And he has hit with 4 points of damage. 1, 2, 3, yep, 4. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. That does go internal. Watch him roll an explosion here, which would be utterly hilarious. Oh, 9. I believe the 9 was no critical hit. I should keep this with me when I'm playing by myself. It is indeed no critical hit, but the Nova Cat gave it his all, gave it a shot, literally. Moving right along here, our Firemouth back there has no shots. Going to the Uller, it says shoot at a thing it can destroy. That is 100% going to be going into the Awesome because he could destroy him. So he is skill 1. The Uller did not jump. We are at medium range, so it's going to put him at a 3, going through woods 4, 5 for his TMM, and the Uller has 3 damage. 1, 2, and 3, looking for 5s. Here we go. And he gets 2 points of damage on the Awesome. Not enough to finish him. He is definitely in forced withdrawal, though, but he does get a critical roll. Here we go. Another 9, no crit effect. And the next one up is going to be the Cougar. Also has it listing as can destroy. Our Cougar here did jump, so he's skill 1, 3 from the jump, 4, 5 for range, 6 for the trees, 7 for cover. So 4 points of damage, looking for 7s. Here we go. See what we can do. So we got 1, 2, 3 points of damage. That's enough to clear the Awesome. Boom, boom. Laser fire, missile vomit. Awesome gets hit. And he is gone. First blood goes to Johad's, Mr. Adams, Clanners. That's said. Time for a little bit of cleanup here, and we will be going into turn 2, and we'll see what action we can get into. All right, so going into turn 2, got the Clanner dice roll here. They got a 5. Coddle's Killers. They got an 11. Coddles goes second. We got 5 activations for the Clanners. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for Coddles Killers. All right, so for the Clanners over here, the initiative order that we have up is such that the Brawler goes first. Our Brawler over here being the Cougar. All right, he's the absolute first activation. It says, if first jump to 16 from all enemies and woods and cover. Okay, so the Cougar has a 10-inch jump. Let's see where it can go. I think logic would dictate that we go this direction here, because water features do give cover, because it's considered depth 1. So he's got a 10. He's going to do a little jumpy jump in the water and be TMM of 3. And here is his handy-dandy card, so we don't forget. Okay, so Coddles, 7 to 4, who moves first? I think we go ahead and grab our Atlas. I think that he's probably going to move 6 inches, yes, absolutely, towards the water. Cool. And he is in there. That's a wonderful, wonderful place for him to be. That brings us down to 6 to 4. Next up for the Clanners, our Brawler has already gone. We only have the 1. It's the Striker that doubles up. And it's our Sniper who is next, the Massacari. Into woods or cover from most enemies. I don't know if he can cross over, so about 4 inches. So he can kind of get over here, and he can push towards the trees. Yeah, okay. So, dice for him. TMM of 1. Okay. So now the Coddles Killers have 6 to their 3, so they got to move 2. Our Warhammer would have approximately 6 inches if he left there. He is going to leave the trees and move towards the water feature. That is where he wants to be heading. Probably should have planned ahead so that I wasn't reducing his move last time. And for the next guy, let's go ahead and shimmy this catapult over as well further into the trees to solidify cover options and turn it to help prevent getting shot in the rear by that fire moth that we know is poised to go. That's card. All right, so next up, it's going to be one of our Strikers. We're going to go with the Uller so that the fire moth gets to go last. This is a sprint. There is someone within 24, so no. Towards the nearest enemy you can get behind. Okay, that is a ground walk. He's in the trees. So it's approximately a 10-inch move. Can't get behind anyone. So the next one is towards lowest health enemy. I believe that is going to be a Locust. And he's not going to leave the cover and leave himself out in the open because he'll seek it. So he'll just back up to here and keep his back turned so he could potentially intercept. Okay. TMM, I believe, of 2 for the Uller. Indeed it is. Alright, so back to Coddle's Killers, and he has 4 there too, so he's got to move 2. What 2 do we want to move? I feel like we'll shimmy the Shadowhawk, and we'll shimmy the Phoenix Hawk, because their skills are not very good. We'll keep them in the trees. They'll just swap places, basically, sort of. Team M2, Team M2. That leaves our Locusts 4 as close to last as possible. Alright. That's going to bring us to the next striker for the Clanners, and the Firemoth has no jump, so skip towards lowest health enemy, which is going to be the Locusts. I think we can do that, but we're going to do it in a shenanigan-y sort of way. He's got a 30-inch move, if I recall. Let me verify that. I know the variant, yep, so he does. I want to make sure I know that variant had some good stuff. And he can still move towards them while maintaining cover and get some rear shots on the Atlas or Warhammer if he wants it. Now, Coddle's Killers have to move their last 2 models, and that is the Locust. So unfortunately, the Nova Cat has not activated yet, and that is what the Locusts were waiting on, and that is not what has occurred. So they have a 24-inch move. I think perhaps we try and... We can't quite gang up on the Massacari. It's not ideal. And I feel like that Nova Cat's going to turn around and kill him. So they are actually going to go for tree coverage and rotate as a pair together and try and maintain some survivability. We couldn't quite get behind them. I also don't want to sprint behind them and make it easy for them to try and turn around with Nova Cat and kill them. So we'll go for the cover, and we should be able to exit next turn and make some positioning. That's going to leave us with the last guy for the Clanners. That's going to be the Skirmisher, and that is the Nova Cat. Actually, hold up. Scratch that. Nova Cat's in forced withdrawal. I think he's walking off the table anyway, so that actually might have changed what these guys would do. They had a 24. Couldn't quite get behind anyone. Yeah, so is he within 8? Okay, perfect. Never mind. We're going to rewind here. He actually walks off the table. These Locusts will actually take a sprint, and they will come over here. They won't attack anything because they can't see, but I didn't realize he was in forced withdrawal, which is public information. We definitely would have known that. All right, so the Skirmisher is off the table then, because it's the only one that we had. So I didn't realize we got him in forced withdrawal. That is actually pretty good. But it's going to bring us to shooting, and Coddle's Killers are going to be firing first. Let's see if we can't down that Massacari, get him, actually, I don't know, we can focus fire and maybe, you know what? We're going to do it. If we can get him in a forced withdrawal, we can get him off the table, and this game is pretty much in the bag for Coddle's Killers. And I left my dice on the side of the table like a smart boy that I am. Boy, got him. Alright, so let's go ahead and start out with the Atlas, because why not? We are at, I'm pretty sure this is medium range here. We've talked about it plenty on the channel. With once you move forward on a 4x4, you're pretty much always medium, and we are. Alright, so Atlas, skill 3, 4-5 for range, 6 for trees, 7 for TMM. He is going to overheat for 1 because he's in the water. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looking for 7s. The black and red are crits, if I haven't already said that. So we got 1, 2 points of damage. And he'll clear heat from the water. So 2 points of damage onto the Massacari. Ha-bonk, ha-bonk. Alright, our Warhammer is going to also fall in, and he's also going to need, I believe it's 8s. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7s. Okay, and he's only got 3 points of damage. 1, 2, and 3, looking for 7s. So he got 1 point of damage. We're not putting him in forced withdrawal this turn. Not with dice rolls like that, and not with our awesome being dead, because I forgot like a dirt. Alright, so 1 point of damage on the Massacari. Probably should have focused fire into the lights, but we're committed now, and that's what we're going to do. So our Catapult, 4 points of damage into the Massacari. Also looking for 7s. 1, 2, 3, 4. If I get the proper dice, 4, 7s. Got a 12, but on the wrong dice, but 3 points of damage into that Masakari. So we're just raining on him. Boom, boom, boom. Still got 3 points of armor left. Let's go ahead and follow up with our Shadowhawk. Skill 5, 2 damage. Gonna need 9s. Nothing. And the Phoenix Hawk, also 9s. Got 1 point of damage. I will take it. Okay. Masakari has 2 armor left. Alright, so for initiative firing, that is going to bring us to firing with the the Cougar first. Yeah, Cougar first. Shoot the target with the lowest TMM. There are 3. Shoot the target he can destroy. Our Uller has, Cougar has 4 points of damage. I don't think there's anything over here he can absolutely destroy. Thing with the highest health, that is going to be the Atlas. Alright, so Cougar. He's got skill 1. He jumps, so 3, 4, 5, 6, and he's in the cover, so 7s. That is still absolutely insane for a mech that jumped. Looking for 7s. Here you go, Cougar. You can do it. That is going to be 1 point of damage. It was close. Close. So my little roads are getting all messed up. Alright, so Atlas takes a point. Probably not the most optimal thing for it to be shooting at. Actually, disregard. I gotta remember that Atlas has stealth. I totally forgot, so he's got essentially +1 TMM. Cool. Alright, so next up, initiative order-wise, that is going to be the Masakari. Masakari will shoot at the thing with the lowest health that it can see, which is probably going to be the Phoenix Hawk or the Shadow Hawk. It is the Phoenix Hawk. So our Masakari over here is skill 1, shooting through the trees, 2, 3, 4 for range, 5, 6 for TMM, 7 for it being in trees. So he's got 4 points of damage. No, excuse me, 6 points of damage. Here we go. So we got 1, 2 points of damage. That was below average. Should have got about 3. So 2 points of damage on the Phoenix Hawk. Boom, boom. Alright, so they're done. Next up for initiative order is going to be the Uller. It says shoot anything it can destroy. One actually, and even the next one's lowest health, so these are all going to go in the Phoenix Hawk anyway. So the Uller, he has a skill of a 1, and I think he's good enough to fire through the trees without getting the bonus. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And he's got 3 points of damage. 1, 2, 3. Looking for 6s. And he gets 2 points of damage into the Phoenix Hawk. Okay. He has no armor left. And our Fire Moth. It says shoot anything it can destroy. Doesn't. Thing with lowest health can't. Actually, it can see the Phoenix Hawk. Absolutely brutal. Oh my goodness, I did not notice that. Okay. And has him out in the open, essentially. So Phoenix Hawk, Fire Moth here, he is skill 2, 3, 4 for range, 5 for cover, 6, 7 for TMM, 4 points of damage, absolutely nuts. And the way that I do rear shots, folks, is as long as I get 1 point of damage, you get the bonus for the rear. If you do none, you don't get an extra pair of dice. So it was 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So he got 1 point of damage, which turns into 2 because it's on the rear. How about we get a crit roll on the Phoenix Hawk, which is a 10. What does a 10 do you ask, or might you ask? A 10 is going to be fire control hit. So that is pretty much going to take the Phoenix Hawk out of commission. He's also at 50% structure, so he is going to be walking off the table next turn anyway. That said, we got a little bit of cleanup to do. Everything has fired. The Locust had no shots because they couldn't see anything, and we'll be going into turn 3. Alright, so initiative for the Clanners. They've got a 4. Initiative for Caudle's Killers. They've got an 8. The Clanners go first. They have 4 models to activate versus Kelly's 6. 7. We're only down by 1, so 7. So Clanners first. Who do we have in initiative order that needs to activate? So we still have, I believe, 2 strikers, which is the Fire Moth and the Uller. And the striker is not the lowest one, the sniper is. So sniper for Massacre, you are first. He's the very first activation, so it says ground movement to 24 inches of line of sight to nearest enemy in woods cover from most enemies. I think logic dictates we go forward because those locusts will move and they will run away and they won't be in his line of sight. I think the spirit of the rule is for him to keep as much in line of sight as possible, and these would be nearest that would likely still be in line of sight. So we're going to make that executive call to do that, and he'll turn this way to force those locusts at least a little bit towards him if we can. So the golden rule for this this setup, you kind of got to wing it a little bit to make things make sense, because if he had walked back here, that's dumb. The locusts run away, he does nothing, and they're not. You don't want your AI to be that stupid. All right, so time for Kelly, or Coddle's Killers, and they outnumber them by 2, so he's got to do 2 activations this turn. And I think for that, we remain stationary with the Atlas. It has stealth, and the only thing that won't give him a stealth push right now, currently in position, is the Fire Moth. So I'm just going to put that 1 for stealth so that I remember he has it, but he did not move. And our Warhammer is going to move into the water feature, so he has his TMM and can start overheating as well. That's going to bring us back to the Clanners, and that is going to bring us to the Brawler, who is up next, which is going to be, whoops, dropped the card, is going to be the Cougar. Ground movement towards highest health enemy. That's actually not very smart. The Cougar has a 10-inch move, and he is going to be slowed. So he'd approximately get there. I think instead of being in the open, he stops for cover to make the best choice possible. Boom. Okay. So that is Zakuga. Coddle's Killers. Still need to do 2. Who goes? We want the Locust to be last. We will shimmy the Catapult over for the TMM. And we will. The Phoenix Hawk is an easy pick. It has to start in forced withdrawal. So we got 2, 4, and so 6 inches. Right. He's in forced withdrawal. TMM of 2. All right, so that's going to leave us with 3 to activate for Coddle's Killers. Sorry. And 1 for the Jade Falcons, which is going to leave us with a striker and a sniper. The sniper already went, sorry. Which was this? This was a Brawler. That was the Cougar. Ha! So we had a striker and, actually, is it both strikers? The Uller, and yep, it's both strikers. So Uller will go next. And it is jump if the highest move enemy has not yet moved to where woods are covered for most enemies. Yep. So he's just going to jump. There we go. He's already in the woods, no reason to leave them. And he'll turn this way to keep his rear as best as possible away. His TMM is 3 heat or 2, so he jumps, so 3. That brings him down to 1 activation. Coddles will have to activate 2, and they'll get the last activation because they won initiative. So our Phoenix Hawk will actually, we'll save the Phoenix Hawk for last. It might be to intercept that Fire Moth. Our Locusts are both going to come after the Massacre, and we're going to unfortunately be in position to be shot by the Uller to get us both on his rear, but that's where they're going to go. It's the best course of action, I think, and we'll put punishing damage into that guy right there if we can. So that means the Fire Moth is last. And he has no jump, so towards lowest health enemy. So he's still going to be pursuing the Locusts with his 30-inch move. And he will take the trees and still be able to fire at stuff. So he has completely circumvented the map. I don't know. Oh, disregard. Lowest health enemy is the Phoenix Hawk, actually. So he's going to come over here for the rear shots and try and finish him. And he can pretty much get all up on him. So we'll put him at short range. keep him maximum distance away from things that could potentially hit him. And he's got a team MO for it. Totally forgot that Phoenix Hawk was cruising around right there. All right, so the clanners fire first, and that is going to be the sniper sniper firing first with initiative order, and it's going to shoot at the thing it can destroy. So the Phoenix Hawk is the highest, or the closest thing it can destroy. Let's see. That might actually be tied. Is it tied? Because he's got 6 damage. So you could not kill the Phoenix Hawks. So yeah, these are Shadow Hawks. So these are going to fire there. I think we're going to make the executive decision that he is going to fire at the Shadow Hawk instead. The Phoenix Hawk should die to the Fire Moth. And by going to the initiative and firing this way, I think that makes the most sense because that's the next potential thing you could kill. And I want to maximize their opportunities without feeling like I'm giving myself the game. So Masakari is going to go ahead and prep to fire at the Phoenix Hawk, who actually had the last move and hadn't done it yet. Sorry, he's here. That is where he would have gone. And probably positioned so that he could intercept the Fire Moth, perhaps. Alright, so Masakari is going to be firing at the Shadow Hawk. Skill 1, 2, 3, 4 for woods, 5, 6. And he's got 6 points of damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So recap 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 is the hit. And he rolled double in there, but he hits for 5 points of damage on that Shadow Hawk, which strips him of all the armor. Okay. And as I was saying, folks, doing the whole golden rule thing, I'm trying to make the decisions that, within the spirit of the rules, make the most sense. And he could have cleared the Phoenix Hawk, but it didn't make sense when he's going to probably clear the Phoenix Hawk, so he cleared the next logical target that could have been destroyed potentially. So sometimes you got to make decisions that for you seem to make sense, and that is the Fire Moth. All right, so next up for initiative order is going to be the Uller, or the Cougar rather, and it says fire at the thing with the lowest TMM. There are 3. Fire at the thing it can destroy. Same concept. I think it. This one will be different. I think. Okay, and so Cougar's got 4. Fire Moth has 4. Okay, so in this one, it's kind of tied. He can't quite clear the Phoenix Hawk, or the Shadow Hawk. It can definitely probably clear the Phoenix Hawk. The Fire Moth's not going to be punished by him taking shots first. So the Cougar will go ahead and fire on the Phoenix Hawk at this point. Skill 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 4 points of damage. So statistically, he should be gone, but we'll make the dice rolls anyway. And yeah, just enough. 2 of those points hit, and the Phoenix Hawk will definitely go down this turn. Next up for initiative will bring us to the Fire Moth, who will shoot at the Shadow Hawk at this point, because it's the next target you can see, and the thing with the least amount of health. So we've got skill 2, 3, 4, 5 for woods, 7 for TMM, and he has got 4 points of damage, and we're not quite on the rear of the Shadow Hawk. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He hits with 2 points of damage on the Shadow Hawk. That is almost forced withdraw, and he's got a crit roll. We hit double 6s. Is double 6 the ammo explosion? No. Double 6s is mech destroyed, not an ammo explosion. He got a head hit. That is a dramatic shift there. It's unbelievable. If he had gotten an ammo explosion, the Phoenix Hawk actually had, or not Phoenix Hawk, sorry, Shadow Hawk actually had, no, the Phoenix Hawk didn't have E needs, Shadow Hawk. Yeah, Shadow Hawk would have died to double 1s too. I was looking at the wrong mech. So these 2 mech bros are definitely gone this turn. And that leaves us to the Uller to fire. And it says shoot at the thing with the highest movement. That is 8. And 8 for the Warhammer as well. So next in line, shoot at the thing it can destroy. Nothing that's obvious it can destroy. Thing that is the highest threat, and I think that is going to be the Atlas. So our Uller here is going to shoot at the Atlas, and he has got a skill 1. He jumps, so 3, 4, 5, 6 for stealth, 7 for cover. I remembered the stealth this time. He's got 3 points of damage, looking for 7s. And I I feel like I said earlier that I was using the Reds as crits. So we're going to go with that. He gets 2 points of damage and 1 crit on the Atlas. When I do the edit, I'll know, but I don't remember exactly. But I think it was those. I could be mixing up with the game I played previously with Neil. But yeah, we're going to go to the Reds because that's what I was thinking it was. He got a 10, and the 10 is the fire control hit. So that is going to gimp the Atlas quite a bit. He's going to go from skill 3 to skill 5. And that is it for their shooting. Now it is time for Coddle's Killers to return fire. I think the Massacre is the likely target. The Atlas is going to take this turn. Actually, we'll use the Locusts first because they actually get some choices with them. They're at short range on the Massacre. So we've got skill 5. We're both in the trees. So 6, 7 for his team M. So Reds are crit. Just trying to be consistent now. I've screwed up if I have. So 7s. We get 1 point of damage on the Massacre because we got 1 that's on the rear. That becomes 2. So Massacre, 1, 2. And we're getting ready to go internal. So other guys, same thing. Need 7s. 2 7s. Boom, boom. And we get a critical roll. Here we go. We got a 3, so close to the 1s. And that is an engine hit. The Massacre is going to generate some heat this turn now. Let's go ahead and go balls to the wall here with the Shadowhawk before he exits the battlefield. He's going to pump 2 shots into that Massacre. So he's skill 5, 6, 7, 8 for trees, 9 for his TMM. So 9s, nothing. And it's going to be 10s for the Phoenix Hawk because he's firing through another instance of woods. Oh, he got the 10! He got the 10! And he's got a crit roll because he went internal. We got a 6. Boom. The big deal with that is that and the 6 is a weapon hit. The big deal with that is that puts that Massacre into forced withdrawal. He has got 2 armor left. These 2 guys are now gone. Boom, boom. That lance for them is almost finished. And that leaves us with the Atlas, the Warhammer, and the Catapult left to fire. I feel like the Massacre is going to take multiple turns to exit the table. I think we take this opportunity to try and clear him. So let's go ahead and take the Catapult, and we'll fire everything into him. So skill 3, 4, 5 from range, 6 for trees, 7 for TMM. So 7s and 4 damage. And we got 1, 2, yep, he is gone. The Massacre has been blown off the table. Sound effects that are not super amazing. Now, that's going to bring us to the Atlas and the Atlas held fire, because the Locust went ahead and shot first. So Atlas is still prime, and the Warhammer gets to go. Which is the more of a threat? The Cougar has 4 damage. The Uller has 3. The Uller is damaged. Let's see if we can't clear some stuff. We're going to go with the Atlas first because he is stationary and has the best odds of hitting that guy. So our Atlas is skill 3. He was stationary. So 2, 3, 4, 5 for the trees, 8 for his TMM, and he's going to overheat for 1. So we got 5 points of damage, looking for 8s. And we got 1, 2, 3, and that is, ladies and gents, I think enough to clear. It is absolutely enough to clear that Uller. Uller is also down. Thank you, Atlas. You have shifted the battle for us. And the Warhammer is only shot he's got is on that Cougar. He is also going to overheat because he's in the water. So he's skill 3, 4, 5 for range, 6 for trees, 7, 8 for TMM, and 9s because he is obscured. So looking for 9s, and he's got 4 points of damage now. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Looking for 9s. And we got 1, 2 points of damage on the Cougar. This turn was a deciding factor, I think. That was a dramatic shift for Coddle's Killers. We're going to go into turn 4 here, and we will see if the Clanners can do anything. Unfortunately, their heavy hitters are off the table. I did not expect that to shift the way it did, but here we are. So for turn 4, Clanners roll. They've got an 8. Coddle's Killers, they've got an 8. So Coddle's Killers, re-roll, 8. And Clanners, A 4. So Kelly's models get the initiative. Or, I can't call those killers. Kelly's coddles. There you go. So we've got two clanner models. Woof. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of Kelly's coddles killers. All right, so yeah, they'll go, and I think he used to move 3. All right, so first one up, they're both strikers here, if I recall. Actually, the Cougar might be the Brawler. The Cougar is the Brawler. So we have Brawler and Striker left. The card that is up next is the Brawler. And because he's first, it says jump to 24 from all enemies and no line of sight or most cover. So I think he's going to want to fire, I think. So 10. Oof. Yeah, he's going to jump to there and do the best he can. It's the only option he's really got to maintain, hopefully not dying, because those locusts are going to be able to get up on him. He's backed into a corner. That is unfortunate, Mr. Cougar, but it is what it is. There you go. Now, Coddle's killers outnumber them 5-1 at this point, so they're going to have to move 3 because they want initiative. They'll get the last activation. So 3 guys go, then the Fire Moth. So the Atlas will remain stationary. The Warhammer will remain stationary, because why not? And the Catapult will, you know what? He'll remain stationary. We could take the Volley Fire. They have prepped, they have haunched down on their haunches. They're ready to go. So the last one will be the Fire Moth. And it's a sprint. If so there's enemies within line of sight, so he's not towards the highest TMM enemy. So that will be the Locusts. But it doesn't say it needs to be there to fire. So it's going to actually move towards them, but keep cover and stay behind the Catapult, because that makes the most sense for him to try and do anything to salvage something. But I think the writing is on the wall for the Clanners, unfortunately. And the last 2, actually, we should have done one more, shouldn't I have? Yeah, I think I messed that up. Whatever. It wasn't going to change anything. The Locusts are going to leave the woods, and they had how much movement? They had 24. That's going to actually be tough. Can they actually have exited and then still have around 22 or so movement? Yeah, I think 100%. We can probably get behind that Cougar. I think he is an absolute danger of death this turn. We will give them their TMMs. So they both have a 4. And the Clanners have lost the initiative, so they will fire first. Initiative order is such that the Brawler will go first. That's the Cougar. Shoot at the thing with the lowest TMM. That is tie. Shoot at the thing it can destroy. Nothing over there can particularly destroy. Shoot a thing it can crit. I don't think we've got anything that's going internal. Nope. Shoot at the thing that's nearest, and that is going to be the Catapult. Alright, so the Cougar's got 4 damage. Rolling into the Catapult. He's skill 1. He jumps, so 3, 4, 5, 6 for the trees. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Looking for 6s. Knocking over trees. So he has gotten 3 points of damage into the Catapult. Again, I don't think it's going to make much of a difference, but he did get the damage. And then the Fire Moth, the only target it's really got as a practical one is going to be the Catapult. And for whatever reason it says shoot the thing with the highest TMM, that's not smart. We're making an executive decision to go after the Catapult here. We've made several of those this game, but it's what it's going to be. So he is skill 2. We're firing the Catapult's rear in the trees. So 3s, 4 points of damage. Look at the 3s. He hits all 4, which will be 5 because he's on the rear. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's not quite into force withdrawal. Critical roll. We got an 8. What do we got for the 8 on the crit chart? And that is a weapon hit, which is pretty brutal for the Catapult because that's 25% of his damage. But I think the writing is on the wall. All right, so we will open up with the Catapult first. Skill 3 was stationary. Skill 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 because of him being in the water. And the water counts for obscurity because it's considered depth 1. So he is technically half of the smallest name team. So that was 2, 3, 4, 8. And he whiffed it. Nope, he got 1 point. We got 1 point. I saw the black and red ones. All right, so 1 point of damage on the Cougar. And the Cougar has 1 armor, 2 structure left. The Atlas, which is a good thing he was stationary because he took that fire control hit. He's technically skill 5. He was stationary, so 4. 5, 6 for range, 7 for trees, 10 for TMM, 11 for the water. That's absolutely brutal. He will overheat, though. So he'll have 5 points of damage, looking for 11s. And he didn't, but he had a really good roll. The Warhammer is going to fire now. He's a skill 3. He was stationary, so 2. So 2, 3, 4 for range, 5 for going through trees, 8 for his TMM, 9s for the water. He will also overheat. Looking for them 9s. And he got 1, 2, 3. That was just enough to clear the Cougar. That is absolutely brutal. He is gone. The Clanner's only hope is a Fire Moth, which I don't think is going to do it, but he will try, and that's going to leave us with our Locusts to fire. I left them for last because they were the only thing that could actually see the Fire Moth. I don't know if they're actually going to be able to hit them, so they are skill 5, 6, 7 for range, 8 for the woods, plus 4 for team, and they need 12s. So here we are with our Locusts looking for 12s. First shot, nothing. And second shot, if I could actually stop knocking our train around, nothing. All right, so that is going to bring us into turn 5 with the Coddles Killers fighting off Johad, Gnors, Clanners, and I think this last turn might be a formality. So I think we'll play it out, and then we will call it there. So here we go with the Coddles Killers, 7 and 6 for the Clanners. So the Clanner guy goes, technically we go first, but I think in this case we have to move everything except for 1 so that we get the last activation. So our catapult will move to here. Boom. Our Warhammer will move to here. So boom. Our Atlas will back up to here. Boom. Give us maximum opportunity to see stuff. And then we have 1 more to go, and that will be our Locust. We'll go to here and box him in. So if he wants to move, he's got to go around. And we had enough movement to do that. So right up in his face. And that's going to bring us to the last turn for the Fire Moth. And it says he doesn't have jump, so towards highest movement enemy. Right. So he's there. He will back up. Actually, if he backs up, he will back up to have some cover. Yeah, and if he wants to be able to shoot him, he's going to be shot by both. So that's what's going to happen. He's there. Team of 4. Boom. And that guy will just drive straight to his face. Okay, so shooting time. The Fire Moth fires first. And it's definitely going to be one of the Locusts. And it is to shoot the thing with the highest movement. They're both tied. The highest threat can't see. TMM, no, so it's the nearest. So it's the one right in front of them. So we've got a team of 4. The way I do covers, because they're both on it, and that's the piece I would give it, they would ignore this one because they're both on it, if that makes sense. So we've got team of 4 on this guy. The Fire Moth has 4 damage at short, skill 2. So looking for 6s. 1, 2, 3, 4. Looking for 6s. He did manage to miss 2 of them, but he gets 2 points of damage on the Locust. And that Locust is in force withdrawal. Alright, so Locusts are going to fire now. The front one, which is not giving the cover there, 5, looking for 9s. He gets 2 points of damage. Unbelievable. And that Locust right there, this little bro, this little guy, he rolled a 9 and a 10, and he ends the game. Fantastic. What a way to go out. I thought it was going to take all the guys to do it, he did it. 2 points of damage to finish off that Fire Moth and bring the win home for Caudle's Killers. And just like that, guys, a swift reversal by getting that Nova Cat to walk off the table with forced withdrawal. Maybe that's not the best thing to do with the AI deck, because that really was a lot of their points off the table. And then the Masakari facing down the same thing, and then having the Swarm of Locust on its rear really turned the tide of the battle. I thought the skill 1s and 2s on these guys was going to make it rough, but you lose one of those models and you're losing a lot of material. And that's one of the things I talk about in my tactics videos, is if you put a lot of eggs in one basket, if you lose that basket, you lose all those eggs, if that makes sense. So quality or quantity is a quality of its own in that type of equation. And I thought that this was going to go very different. Objective-based, maybe it would have, but if the Nova Cat and the Massacre don't get taken down the way that they were, you know, this starts to run amok on it. But that's the thing that I talk about. I stress, I impose, and yes, this is an AI thing, but it's you're seeing that strategy come into fruition on the table, is that just because your mech becomes more efficient at killing, it doesn't make it any harder to kill itself. So the lower that you get your pilot skill, the more effective you are at killing stuff or hitting stuff, you can still be hit just the same. So that Massacre was 86 points for skill 1, and the Nova Cat was 74 points for skill 1 as well. They're just as easy to kill as a Massacre at skill 7 or Nova Cat still skill 7. You wouldn't bring those at skill 7, but that's the point. So sometimes a better skill does not always equate to making the model actually better. If we were playing and I was trying to run this with more than a star, we might have lowered those points to maybe like 3s, skill 3s, and brought in some more minis, some more stuff to push the backfield and make it a lot less painful when one of those minis goes down. So you get to see this firsthand. This was an Aces deck, though, so the strategy and the things that they did was not 100% optimal. That Nova Cat, for example, has jump. It's the Nova Cat F, 12J, and strong jump jets. He's TMM1 with skill 1. He should have been jumping every turn. The jumping takes him from skill 1 to skill 3, which is still above average relative to a 4, and he puts himself at TMM 3 for a model that's dishing out 5, 5, and 3 damage respectively across the board with the EMS, or ECM, sorry. So that's one thing that the AI deck does not account for, and I made a lot of executive decisions this game because some of the cards weren't exactly optimum. I don't want to do that on every actual thing, but that Nova Cat's a niche case where like you'd 100% probably jump every turn. Unless there was a way that you knew you weren't going to get shot, and then you could just, not take the penalty to your TMM. But yeah, as a skill 1 with jump and strong jump jets of that, pretty much using it every turn. That said, the way that it ended with the Locust needing 9s to hit and taking out that Fire Moth with a double whammy is awesome. I was thinking the Catapult and the other Locust are going to have to do it, but you never know when your dice are going to spike, and they took down the Fire Moth, and it was a swift victory there on turn 5 for Caudle's Killers, who I thought were going to struggle. That said, I hope you guys enjoyed this battle. Big shout out to Adam from Death Designs, who painted the clan forces for me, and to Kelly Caudle, who I keep throwing his name out this whole time, who painted up what I've been calling Caudle's Killers here for the channel. If you guys happen to be at Nova Open 2023 this year at the end of August, I'll have these models there for the grinder stuff that I'm running, and that's what they were painted for, so people can learn the game, play some stuff, and enjoy learning Battletech Alpha Strike. That said, thank you guys for tuning in. If you enjoyed this, Alpha Strike that like and subscribe, and as always, I hope that I will be able to not ramble so much and catch you guys in a future video. As always, keep rolling your dice, keep painting your models, and yeah, we'll catch you in that future video.